Welcome everyone to Salisbury City Council work session agenda. Today is July 18th, 2022. We have a couple items on the agenda. First up is an ordinance accepting DHCD funds for the 2022 National Folk Festival. And we have Business Development Director Laura Sopa. How are you doing today?
Good. How's everyone else doing? Okay, well, included in your packet is an ordinance accepting $27,000 from DHCD. Those funds will go to help the 2020 National Folk Festival in Maryland. The funds are used for coordinators, office expenses, marketing expenses, and a wide variety of things. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
None.
April?
No.
Good. Jack, you good?
I'm just shaking my head.
All right, everybody, consensus to move forward?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you very much.
There you go. Have a good afternoon. All right. Next up is a charter amendment to provide for collective bargaining. City Administrator Julie Lambs.
Good evening, council. I'm going to ask a few folks to come up with me that are representing our employees. And everyone knows our Director of Human Resources, Meg Caton, to the right of me, Sergeant Brandon Caton, and firefighter EMT Ryan Jones. I'm blanking on your name. Sorry about that, man. So before you is the first step in sort of a lengthy process that we've talked about, which is allowing for certain employees of the city of Salisbury to have collective bargaining. And if you recall, a few months ago, the mayor at a budget press conference announced that he would like to have administration move forward language that would allow for our employees to have collective bargaining. Prior to that, the mayor had met with certain employees, Ryan Jones and a number of other firefighters of the IAFF, and as the fire department was trying to spearhead these efforts and wanted to move that forward, as it is important for our work, the work of this council, the work of this mayor, to be protected for years to come. We've had 9 years of consecutive employee raises. We have strong benefits that we offer our employees, and we'd like to set those in stone moving forward for a future mayor, a future council that may not value those things the way we do. So attached in your packet is a simple charter amendment along with a roadmap, so to speak, of the process. So our council drafted this roadmap for us. So Ashley, if you want to walk us through the steps that as we know them.
Sure.
And then I'd like to offer both the gentlemen next to me to say a few things on behalf of their organizations.
So the process begins by amending our charter to allow for collective bargaining, and that's done through a resolution. So it follows the ordinary resolution process. So that's a little bit of a lengthy process in terms of what we have to do. We have to make the amendment with the exact wording, and we've proposed that here today, subject to your review and questioning, to describe the language that's to be added. So we're going to add a whole nother chapter to the charter. After that, it goes through again the process of posting, public hearing, all of that. Once it becomes effective, then at that point we can pass the labor code. And the labor code is really the meats and the potatoes of the process of how, who gets to be involved as the employees, what employees are going to be part of the union, how we determine who's the exclusive bargaining agent for those employees, what's the subject matter to be part of the collective bargaining agreement, the timelines for the whole CBA, when negotiations start, what constitutes an impasse, what happens if there's an impasse, unfair labor practices, so it's the whole kit and caboodle, so to speak, of our labor code. And the labor code can't be adopted until after the resolution takes effect, so it's a sequential process. After we pass the labor code, then we need to determine who the city is actually bargaining with, who the exclusive bargaining unit will be. So there will be either an election process, or if we don't need to go through that process because we have, for instance, most likely will be the IAFF for the firefighters, there can just be this voluntary recognition. But there has to be a process in place, which is spelled out in our labor code, for who we're dealing with. And once that is done, then the negotiations begin for the CBA.
So again, tonight is not getting into the weeds of what is to be hashed out at a later date, but just allowing, and again, a work session, but moving forward this charter amendment that would allow for this process to continue to move forward. So, gentlemen.
Okay. Everybody, I'm Ryan Jones. I'm the president for Local 4246 with the IFF here in Salisbury. This has been obviously a culmination of a lot of work on our end with the mayor, with Ms. Julia, and you know we're getting finally to a point where this is going to be something that's going to be beneficial to us, you know, specifically as a fire department and its members, the men and women of the Salisbury Fire Department. You know, we're looking down a positive pipeline where our people are going to be able to come here and fight for, you know, better working conditions, things of that nature, pay. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. A lot of work to be hashed out still, without question. So I would ask the full support of the council and everybody attending and watching that this is something that, you know, excuse me, that will pay off big for us in the future between retention, recruitment. It's going to be a staple item for the fire department moving forward. It's something that people are going to look forward to when they look for a job and they see Salisbury Fire Department is hiring and hey, these guys have a contract in collective bargaining. They're going to have that security blanket to be able to come in and know that there's that comfort factor in future progress.
Good evening. For those of you that may not know me, I am also not only a policeman here in Salisbury, but I am also the vice president of Wicomico Lodge 111 FOP. I want to first say, you know, thank you to the firemen for a lot of hard work that have brought this forward. I think for us, from the police standpoint, this makes us competitive in our market that we have currently. The lodge is our bargaining unit for several other agencies, as is their IFAA. So the lodge will be doing a lot of ours, but it will keep SPD competitive. We lose a lot of people, just like he said, to other agencies because they see a collective bargaining contract. They see a means to negotiate better working conditions. They see a means of, hey, look, we can make things better, and there is a mechanism to do that. For us, and I think the council in my time with the city has done everything, like Julia said, to help that, but in future we can't guarantee those things. And everyone taking part in this is a huge step for not only us, but the city in general, to make sure everyone in the city, which includes its citizens, is safe, has a good fulfilled fire department, has a good fulfilled police department with staff. And this mechanism is huge beyond just salaries and beyond that meat and potatoes that'll get in there. But again, thank you for listening to this, and again, thank you to the fire department for bringing this to the forefront like they have. So
Start with council comments, and once again, remember, this is the first step in a multi-step process here. So I'll start with Mrs. Gregory.
This is great. I'm glad that we're doing this because, like they said, even though we understand the importance, there's no guarantee in the future that another council or mayor will value the employees that way. So I'm in support of this, and it's the first step in the right direction.
Yeah, I do, just one question. When, and this is for legal, when you say, in here under passage of labor code, it says new labor code, do we have, you mean a new, like one doesn't exist, or a newer one? We have one that exists that's old.
We do not have one, so it would be a brand
total new one.
New charter. Or
New-
a new, after we do the charter amendment, it would be a whole nother section of our code that we would refer to as the labor code.
Okay, that's what I was wondering if we had like an old one or whatever. Yeah, this is wonderful. Yes, move it forward. No other question.
Mr. Jackson?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to know. I concur with Michelle and Angela. I mean, this is something that we actually need, and we do appreciate the workers of the city of Salisbury and even the constituents of the city of Salisbury. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, before I start, I really, we have a lot of work ahead of us, I will tell you that. And I would appreciate if we ask the Human Resources Director for any comments that she might have before we talk about a vote.
Do you think collective bargaining is important? I think, like both gentlemen said, that it would help us with hiring and retention here. But I think there is a lot of work ahead of us that we're going to have to really focus in on and make sure we do the right thing for all parties involved.
I'm fine with that, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I do ask, it's kind of like a question and a comment because I think I know the answer, but this does allow for other departments in the city other than just the police department and fire department to join unions or representatives for collective bargaining as well, correct? Okay. And, you know, I'm in support of this, and I have, you know, made it a point my 7 years on the council to, you know, work with the police department, work with the fire department, sometimes in school, sometimes out of school. And sometimes I know things get filtered to us sometimes, and you know, I always feel that it's important to make sure that everybody has the tools that they need to do their job every day. Number one, safe working conditions. You know, some of the things we've done over the past 7 years that we've all been on here is, you know, with the police department specifically, one of them was taking all the equipment off the tool belts and going to the vests. And it's, you know, creates a better working condition because it prevents back injuries. You know, fire department, you know, every time any of y'all have come to us, I don't think there's ever been a time that I have ever said no, or the members of the council. So we recognize the work that you all do day in and day out. It's not easy work, but it's for the everyday citizens, because when they call, you're the face of our city. You are the ones that respond. So with that, I am in full support, and council seems to be in full support, so we will prepare to move this forward.
Thank you.
At this time, we will go to administration comments. Mr. Mayor.
The only thing I really have to say today is in reference to the item that was just discussed. I just want to say thank you to the council. This is as has been referenced, this is a challenging topic. There's a lot of detailed work ahead, but you know, moving this to legislative session means, you know, you will set the stage for the city of Salisbury transitioning from an employer that doesn't extend collective bargaining rights to employees to one that does. And yes, there's lots of work ahead after that, but that's a big shift. It's the moment of the paradigm shift, I think. And what wasn't said tonight, but you know, I assure you that you know, they've done a very good job educating me on is there is pretty significant, I think what can be fairly expressed as concern about the environment of recruiting talent away from us. You all have known it for years in the police department, and that wave is out there and looming in our fire department. And so whatever we can do to be a place where people want to stay first and come is going to help us face down that wave and survive it. And we've got puppy dogs on there. And the one thing that I'd say is, you know, Dave Ryan has often said this about recruiting businesses to our community. A job saved is as good as a job earned. And so an employee saved is probably better than an employee recruited and hired. That's somebody who's invested with us and has committed to us and given years to us. So let's do everything we can. So thank you. That's all we got.
We'll move to council remarks. Mrs. Gregory.
Just a reminder, tomorrow is Election Day. Primary is happening. If you missed out on the non-existent lines at early voting, tomorrow's your day. All the statewide offices are up for grabs. We're going to have a new governor, and this is the first step in deciding who that's going to be. So please show up, go vote. I honestly, doesn't matter to me who you vote for. I just want to see people showing up. Turnout has been really, really low this year, and I think that comes from the confusion of things being moved around so much, but because of redistricting. But you know, please go out and vote tomorrow.
Mrs. Gregory. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Blake.
Can I have your gavel?
Everyone's forgetting
Give me your gavel. I've had enough.
Can I borrow your glasses?
No. You don't
It's been a
want
long
to. You don't want to
day,
see what I see
and I still
here.
got to drive to Elkton tonight. My apologies.
I just want to point out that we have our National Night Out on Tuesday, August the 2nd. It's from 5 to 8 in our beautiful city park. I hope everyone can come out. We also need more volunteers for our folk festival, which is going to be held at the end of August, August the 26th, the 27th, 28th. And can someone help me on, I was trying to look up the website. There's a website you can sign up for.
Get connected.
Get Connected.
Or nationalfolkfestival.com or .org/volunteer.
Okay, because we do need some more volunteers there. Also, I used the Citizen Reporter the first time this past week. I was so proud of myself because I'm not very tech savvy, so I just want to brag for a minute.
I did too.
But I am showing all my friends about the city's Citizen Reporter. So if there's an issue, please use the Citizen Reporter. It's on the city's website. It's also on the City of Salisbury's Facebook page, so just like that page. And what I always say, this is the first time, I think, in a year that I was actually healthy enough and cleared enough to actually donate blood again. And please donate blood. It's so important. So I was very excited about that this past Saturday. So get out there, not only vote, but donate blood or else.
Ms. Jackson? I got your name right.
You did.
All I want to say is be safe, be blessed. I'm on vacation. I'm out of here.
Peace out.
Jack?
Yeah, two things. One, give blood if you can. And two, please go out and vote. There are millions of people in the world that don't have the opportunity to do that. And it's one way that we can voice our opinion. And it counts. So please go out and vote. Have a great week.
I will concur with all of those remarks, and after you give blood, after you vote, go down to 2 Scoops and get a milkshake. That we are adjourned.
Amen.